In its heyday, Kimberley was home to a number of influential figures in South African history. Our exploration begins at Butler's Restaurant. Run by father and son, the property is a national monument which was once home to the famous Oppenheimer family.
Daniel, how is it?
Good, thanks. How are you doing?
Oh, very good. Wow.
There you go.
Wow. Well, this is a real treat, sir. Thank you so much for being
Pleased
such
to meet you.
a
Thank
gracious host. Before I delve into the incredible history of this home and what you guys do as a family, I have to ask, what have you presented me with here?
We've made one of our most popular starters. We've got a smoked springbok carpaccio, which is served with a classical steak tartare.
Oh, luckily, two of my absolute favorites. Now, getting a sense of the history in this house, it really is connected to Kimberley, and of course built by Sir Ernest Oppenheimer. Tell me a little bit about the culture, the history connected to this property.
That's right. The house was built by Ernest Oppenheimer as a wedding gift to Mary Oppenheimer when they got married. And the house is 104 years old now. So quite a bit of history here. Harry Oppenheimer was born in the house. One of his bedrooms is here. And it's rich in Kimberley history. There was a couple of diamond magnates after that also owned the house.
I have to ask, have you ever cooked for any of the Oppenheimers?
Yes, absolutely, for two of them actually.
Well, I've got hundreds of questions I could ask you, but you might see me looking down at my food every 5 seconds. I think that's enough talk. Should we dig in?
Our next stop is the Duggan Cronin Gallery. It houses the beautiful Thunderbantu exhibition, which contains a breathtaking display of early 20th century photographs by Alfred Duggan Cronin.
Robert, Duggan Cronin's work, seeing it up close, these original prints, it is haunting really in a class of its own. Give me a bit of background to the gallery here.
Duggan Cronin started off just taking photographs as a hobby of the people he came into contact with on the mines where he worked, and then it just developed into a passion. He wanted to know more about where they came from and what their conditions were like at home. So then from 1919 onwards, he traveled all over South Africa and Southern Africa to photograph them in their villages. And what you see here is his legacy, and what we have here are a selection of the best.
I find the portraits in particular incredibly haunting, captures the humanity, the essence of the people. What in your mind makes his work so significant?
It's got two aspects. It's the sort of more academic aspect of preserving times past, and then it's also the aesthetic aspect, because they're works of art in their own right. So he was able to capture the dignity of the people. He obviously had a rapport with them, because it shines through in so many of his photographs.
Solomon Plaatje was a writer, linguist, politician, and all-around intellectual. He was an icon with little formal training, so it's fitting that a university in Kimberley is named after him.
Johan, I know it is very difficult to summate life as great as that of Saul Plaatje, but if you had to abbreviate the significance of the man for this country.
We today can still appreciate and commemorate the efforts he left behind in terms of his writings, which are twofold: his own books and then secondly his newspaper articles. I think the significance in terms of the newspaper articles was it was the main means of communication during his lifetime. And then he wrote a classic called Native Life in South Africa, which is still regarded as a classic.
Kimberley is definitely more than just a mining town. It produced extraordinary thinkers and dynasties, and was home to many who would become jewels in our country's rich heritage. So take a short left and visit shortleft.co.za for more deals and packages.